is Saturday, November 27th. We have zero current, but we do have a south wind, and we are on the west bank catching the sunrise on the east side. We got 3 rods casted out, and we're getting a fish on this one right here. He just held it down, kind of like a flathead would have, but he didn't take off with it. But that's a shad body chunk on that rod. I don't know if you guys even saw it or not, but he just went, bent that rod tip down. And it could be a drum. They do that sometimes too, especially when it's cold outside. But anyways, I got a shad body chunk on this first rod, got a shad head, got a shad body and head. I left them all as one piece, but just cut the tail off. A bigger profile bait. We'll see if these smaller baits or the bigger baits what they're after, and I don't know, we'll go from there. This is what we got for bait. Caught these yesterday, so they're pretty fresh. They're not today fresh, but they are yesterday fresh. That's good enough for me. Hopefully it's good enough for them. Anyhow, we're gonna put this in the box so they stay cold and fresh and out of the sun, and I'll get back with you guys when we get a fish. Just let it go. We may have to pick through some dinks this morning to get anything bigger. I don't know yet. You guys already know if there's any size, they'd already hooked themselves up. That's just the way it is. Big blue cats ain't hook shy, and they grab that bait and they take off running. So probably got a couple channel cats and some dink blues down there. Just keep eating these here dynamite Doritos. We'll fish on. Well, I got a bite on this rod about 20 minutes ago, and I reeled in the slack, and it got tangled up. Well, after about 20 minutes of not getting a bite, I figured I better check the bait. And so I tried to reel it in. I broke off, so I thought I'd show you guys how I rig up. First thing I do is I use this, you can see I already got some snelled up, swivels on them and everything, but anyway, use that 50-pound Omniflex. I don't really worry about it being that bad of a line, because I go through enough of it quickly enough that it ain't ever on my pole for too long anyways. If it does last the trip, just change it out the next time you go. Yeah, I got these circle hooks, but I don't like using them unless it's a fast current and I'm like sticking one fishing pole here and then another one 100 foot down or something like that. Then I'll go for these. But what I like is these. These are about 6/0. I need to find some 10 or 9s. Here's a 7. It may have to work. 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 6, 10/0. That's what we're after right there. It's a sharp hook. I'm gonna put this peg float on there too, just because I can, for no other reason than that. This is what I take creeking with me, just a little box, whatever on it. I think I'm going to use about 3 foot a leader. I don't do this very often. I'm not one of them peg float kind of guys. If I'm just being honest with you guys, I usually just leave them on the bottom. But I have seen 2 catfish come up and bust the surface today. So it has me wondering if they're not suspended in the water column, and if I may not get a... There we go, we got one. He ain't no giant or nothing like that, but it's been slow so far, so we'll take it. Get on up here, boy. He may be going home to the grease. No, he ain't going home to the grease. Well, that's what you get. What do they say when you catch a small fish? He sure is pretty. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That bait's just fine. Get that sucker back out there. We're fishing 30 feet of water. This is the only real structure around here, and it's right below we're on the navigation channel, so that you can see a barge up there somewhere in there. And sometimes they offload grain and stuff, and all that stuff doesn't make it up them conveyor belts. And so I know that grain's really a channel catfish kind of thing, but I just got back from Vegas, so I'll take anything I can catch, really. So it is what it is. And I forgot to I didn't check my boat to make sure I had gas in it before I took off this morning. And yeah, like I said, we just got back from Vegas. And where was I going with that? My boat's empty. I don't have no damn gas. I got less than 1/8 of a tank, so I don't want to go all the way up the river and then be stuck all the way up the river. Just gonna put this on here. What am I using? A 3 ounce. I just get that variety pack of these slip weights from Walmart. I do intend to buy a no-roll sinker mold, and I want to buy a 4 ounce and a 1 ounce sinker mold. Most of the places I go, that'll get it done. So, and I like the 4 ounce ones because it'll get it done in most places. Like you know, here I can get away with an ounce of weight. I'm just using the heavier weights so that way I can cast out there further. And putting heavier current, I don't really care how my rig looks. I'll put 4 of them suckers on there if I have to. So I just want to buy a 4. I wouldn't mind having a 1 ounce bank sinker mold, but a 4 ounce for sure bank sinker mold, 4 ounce no roll. And that ought to do it. Thumb this down. Now we're going to snail this hook. We already got our line for our leader for our snail knot. This right here, this is my catfish hook. That sucker is sharp. Again, I don't have nothing against circle hooks, but I was raised setting the hook, and these they do the same thing. So I'm more confident using this. That's really what it boils down to, is use what you're confident using. If you started out fishing using circle hooks, by all means use circle hooks. If you started out using J hooks, by all means, keep using J-hooks. I've watched plenty of videos where people gut hook plenty of big catfish with circle hooks. I've seen it 100 times. So I'd rather just use this, and I feel like I'll show you why I'm not that confident with circle hooks here in just a second. Again, it's just my opinion, strictly opinion. You're entitled to one, I'm entitled to one. So we'll go over it real quick. Now I do use Mustad Demon circle hooks sometimes, but I'll show you when. When I'm fishing one of these big slip corks at nighttime and I'm gonna go to sleep and leave it out there all night, you know, they say that they're not supposed to swallow these, or if they do, they got more of a chance of it coming back out. And you know, I want to give the fish every opportunity. So if I'm going to sleep, I'm gonna leave that out all night. Then I use circle hooks, because I have caught them on this and they've swallowed the hell out of it. But I've caught them and swallowed the hell out of circle hooks too. So, but anyways, these are good bobbers, folks. If you go to the Dollar General or Walmart or whatever and get them kids glow stick bracelets. I think they're like $1 for 10 or something. You snap them up and you just shove them down in the foam. Leave it about sticking up about like that. You can cast it out there and then you can see your takedowns at night. You don't need no flashlights or nothing, you know, so you're not attracting no bugs. Hell of a bobber. Anyhow. And these is the only circle hooks that I like. I would like the Gamakatsus because I like Gamakatsu hooks, but they don't have any with a wide enough gap. The tooth patch on a catfish on a 20 pounds and up is about as wide as my thumb, and I got a pretty wide thumb. I guess it's about 1 inch wide. But anyways, see that hook point has to be able to make it around that tooth patch in order to hook that fish. I don't care if it hooks him in the corner of the mouth or the top of the mouth or the bottom of the mouth. I just want to hook him in the mouth. And even with circle hooks, sometimes I don't get them in the corner of the mouth. I get them in the roof, or catch them over their bottom tooth patch or their jaw, the bottom jaw. And I want a hook that has a 1 inch gap right there, because I want to be able to get around that catfish's tooth patch. Anyhow, probably done enough talking now, so there's some truck drivers up there. They probably think I'm crazy. We're right at the freaking the port where they're load and unload barges. We're literally right on top of them, right down river from them. We're gonna stick that on there. Again, I don't do this that often, but there are a bunch of submerged trees and stuff out here too. Maybe this will keep it up off there. And the fish that I catch out of here when it's not running like this, I guess that sediment settles down there about 1 foot, 2 foot maybe. I don't really know, but I want to give myself every chance I can get. So I want to buy some dragon weights and planer boards. Someone needs to comment if they'd be interested in seeing me try that. I'm not from Tennessee or any of those places where you see that stuff done all the time. I'm from Oklahoma, and I've never seen planer boards down here out on this river. I'm not saying that people don't do it. I've seen people dragging, I've seen people drifting. I've just never seen planer boards, and I would really like to try it. I think it'd be a really effective way to fish. Even if you think about it, even if I was anchored up right here, the river's going, I could cover that side of the river, the middle of the river, and you know, right here in front of me, I could just cast one out, let one go over all the way to the other side of the bank, one go to the middle, Or if my wife's with me, we could even stagger them more. And I think it'd be a really effective way to hit this river. Some of you guys don't have laws on how many fishing poles you can have in your state. In Oklahoma, I'm only allowed to have 3. I don't really understand that. You can have 20 jug lines with 3 hooks on each one, or you can have a trot line with 75 hooks, something like that. But I can only have 3 fishing poles. I would understand that like right below the dam. There's such a lost tongue twisted. There are a lot of people below the dam all trying to catfish the same waters, or fish in general, crappie fish, whatever they're doing, striper, hybrid. And so below the dams, I would kind of understand the you know, maybe 1 or 2 rods down there below the dam. But like what I'm doing now, I don't know why I can't have 6 rods out here. Sometimes I go below the dam on my boat. I get down there, especially, this happens a lot in springtime, and I won't be able to fish with 3 fishing rods. It ain't possible. As soon as I get one in the water and I start baiting up the next one to get it in the water, that suckers will be just taking off. Literally, when my wife and kids go fishing with me, we'll use 3 rods, and when that bite's hot in springtime down there below the dam, it's freaking hot. Yeah, I can feel that rod. I can feel it. I'm going right over the top of freaking brush piles. I'm caught up again. There's a lot of brush right there. They're in about 30 feet of water. That one was about 20 feet of water. That little rod's getting hit again. We're gonna get this untangled. We'll worry about that a little bit. I'll get back with you. Well, we got a fish on, but we also got a rat nest at the tip of the catfish rod. Let's reel it in and see what we got. If we can keep him up out of those trees right there. He's a little bitty one. I already feel him rolling down there, but again, it's mid-fall, late fall, however you want to call it. That sucker right there. Right there, that's a grease catfish. That size right there swims in the grease. So we're gonna put him in the box. There we go. We're gonna get it back out there. I gotta buy a new set of pliers. I was throwing the net and I left mine on the deck, and well, they're at the bottom of this river up by the dam somewhere. But anyway, that's a perfect eating size. Maybe 2 pounds, maybe 3. Maybe 3. That's the size I like to eat anyways. Yeah, you're going home, buddy. In the wintertime, that's plenty of water right there to keep these catfish alive. Summertime, you got to keep that sucker recirculating and all that jazz. Right now, though, about 4 or 5 inches of water, that guy will be just fine. We'll come back up here. We'll get us another shad. That came on just a little bitty body chunk. It wasn't even a gut pocket or nothing. We're gonna get that head off there. We're gonna get a little gut section. that right there. Cast it back out there and see what we can't get. Hopefully we can get some more of those guys moving through here and get rid of those half pounders and quarter pounders. Let's hook that up just like that. Oh yeah, that's plenty right there. We'll get that casted out there and see if we can't get one. It's about 9:30 probably. Something like that. Again, this rod right here, it doesn't say H2O Express, but that's what it rang up at Academy. That rod was only $14. If you're just trying to go catch some catfish to eat, or I'd say up to 10 pounds, get you a little bass rod and some braided line, 30-pound test braided line, 40-pound test braided line. And the only reason I even like that heavy braided line for this is strictly because I don't like breaking off my hooks all the time. And that 30 and 40-pound test, I get a lot more hooks back than I lose. So, and if I hook into bigger catfish, I want to be able to handle them as well. But and that braid also cuts the water a lot better, because I fish rivers and creeks and flowing water, and that braid just cuts so much better. I don't have to use a heavy weight. So on a light rod like that, that braid's pretty key to keep your bait on the bottom and not have to use a heavy weight. You know, I can get where I have to use 4 or 5 ounces on this one, I can use 1 ounce or 3/4 of an ounce on this one and keep the same bait down. So smaller rod, I can't handle as much weight, braided line, get it done. I'll get back with you guys when we get another one. Dink tapped to death at that last spot, so I pushed on up the river a little ways. I usually do all right here even when there ain't no water running, so I figured I'd come back and give it a try down here before I take off, hang out here for a couple hours. We'll see. It's a little bit shallower up this way, but I feel like as that sun gets higher, maybe some of them bigger fish will move up here into the shallows. And I was right, we just got one on there. I don't know how big he is. He ain't no giant. I already feel him rolling down there, but he's the biggest fish we've caught so far today. You guys got to be on for it. I switched up a little bit. I was using all shad on every rod, and I put a cut crappie on this one, just because I usually use crappie, but I caught shad, so I'm using shad. That sucker right here didn't hesitate. You better hope you're under 5 pounds, buddy. I mean, you better hope you're over 5 pounds. You ain't looking like it. Looking like you're about to go in some hot grease. I had this one casted out right on the end of that tree right there. That tree gives them some structure where they can, this is theory, that tree gives them some structure. They can come and sit on this shelf right here. It just gradually gets deeper. And I always do good by that tree. And I feel like it's because, you know, there's something there that they can run to if they get scared or whatever they do when they're down there. If they need some structure to hide by, they can go right there. But if they want to get warm, they can lay out in the sun, and they got that tree right there to turn and run back into. So he about 4 pounds. He gonna go to the hot grease. Get that. I guess we give him some variety too, but I was wondering if I should be using big baits or smaller baits today, just because of how cold it's been. And I guess that's working out just fine, so we're gonna rehook it. It's kind of tore up. We're just gonna throw it out there. We're gonna put it on a body section now. I only have 3 little crappie. I like to have at least 10 in the wintertime. But all I got is 3, so we're gonna, usually I wouldn't even go for I wouldn't be putting a body section on my big rod. I'd be putting flapper bait or something on there. But being as we only got this much crappie, and this is what we're gonna do. Cut all these fins off of here. All right. On the other 2, I got a shad head on this one, and I got a shad gut pocket on that one. Get this hooked up on here. Try to get behind some of those bones back there so that way they can't just pull it off the hook. Especially after I just ripped those fins out. Practically I ripped them out. Anyway, we'll get that down there and see what we can get. Try and get this sucker right off the end of that tree right there. I guess that's 3 fish in this video so far, but I really hope to get some more. We're getting something on this one right here, this little bitty one. He's mouthing it. Oh, we got him. Okay. He might have got off there. Yeah, he did. It's all right. He'll come back. He's too small anyway. Okay. Oh, beautiful. We got it right off the end of that tree. It's about 23, 24 foot right there, and then it goes down to 30. But like I said, that other wall is just it's a steeper wall. It just drops straight down. Over here it kind of comes up on this little flat right here. I got these peg floats on here, so I got to make sure I keep my line tight. I don't want my bait floating all the way up in the water, all the way up to the top. It's one of the reasons I don't use those floats that much. I need to get me some of them rubber bobber stops and put on there so my sinker can't slide none. It'll just stay stuck. My weight will just be locked down, but I'd be fine with that. Anyway, let you guys go. Well, here we go, folks. We just had a boat come blazing through here. Maybe that'll stir the fish up a little bit. We got about another hour to sit around and see if we can't catch some more fish before I call it good. Yeah, we got an hour and 7 minutes. We're gonna head to the house. Usually barges, of course it's the day after Thanksgiving, so I ain't expecting to see none, but or 2 days after Thanksgiving rather. Usually them barges, they push up this river and they'll turn right into that cove. They got barges stored over there, and they'll go over there and get them. Usually I catch fish when they come through there. I don't know, it seems like in smaller creeks those boats do pretty good at stirring the fish up. We'll see about this. Sometimes on the river too. All it takes is a boat going by to wake them up. We'll see. I moved that smaller rod. I got it casted more in the center of that tree. Big rod's still out there, and that rod's still out there. So we'll see. Either way, it was a good day out here. Beat sitting at home wondering what to do on a cold day. You know, you got all the chores that you need to get done around the house, but it's cold, so you don't want to do them. But you can somehow manage to come stand out in 31-degree weather for, you know, 4 or 5 hours. Manage to do that. But by God, if it's come time to do chores, man, it's too cold to do all that. I'm waiting till it's a warmer day outside. Anyhow, I'll let you guys go on that note. We got another one, folks. I was sitting here and my line started swimming towards me, and I started reeling down. I didn't know if it was the wind because I got that cork on there. However you guys call that fishing, with cork, you know, whatever you call it. Anyways, I was trying to reel up the slack. Every time I'd reel up the slack, it just kept coming towards it. He was pushing back up in here further and further and further. And anyway, I decided to keep reeling down on him, and we got one. Nice little blue cat. I moved spots again. I pushed up in a cove. I've been seeing all these other YouTubers talking about wind-blown coves, and you can see that wind is pushing right up in here. So they say the bait gets pushed up in there too, which I can verify. This is usually where I come to catch bait when it's in the colder months, and I got one. So you can see he's been down in that mud. But this guy's lucky. He's over the 5-pound marker, so we're gonna let him go. Hopefully I can get a good release shot for you guys. I don't think I've done that yet. That's kind of hard when you're by yourself, especially in the winter. I got this camera on underneath my jacket, and then I got my jacket zipped up underneath it. But here he is again. About a 5-pounder, nothing huge. We're gonna get him back in there. Still catching catfish on a cold day. There he goes. He gone. All right, let's get baited back up. We'll cast it back out there. I'll show you guys what I got going on. I got crappie head, shad head or body section, I don't remember at this point, and just cut them fan casted out here. I got that one going that way, that one going towards those barges over there, and then this one I was casting it directly into the wind. And well, let's do it again. I was watching old Fishing with Billy talking about some kind of Black Friday guide trip or something. I don't know, something or another. We'll go back to watching that here in a minute though. Hey, I get my feet back. Okay. Well, we're whittling away at this bag of shad anyways. I don't know if we're gonna get it all used, but I was kind of hoping we would. So I don't really want to save them. I'd rather have fresh bait every time I go out than versus to put these on ice for 4 or 5 days and then try to use them again. I'd rather not do that. I haven't been being that frugal with the bait either. I've been changing it out pretty often and keeping it fresh, and really not reusing any of it too much. I'll reuse the crappie because I only got 3 of them, but the shad, I'm just catch a fish or whatever, move spots, change baits. We'll probably keep doing that. I'm getting that right above that gut pocket. Something like that. That peg float's all kinds of messed up. It's 7 different kinds of jacked up, but cut in half and all kinds of stuff. But that was on me. I did that. Cut it in half. I was using it on a crappie rod a while back. I just buy one size and then cut them down to whatever I need. That day I just needed a half a cork. That's it right there. About a third of the width of this channel coming off that way, off that bank over there. I got this one, like I said, right out there, and I got the other one casted out that way. So we're covering the creek, or the channel rather. They got all these little cuts, all these little coves that they've dug going back up against the river. Like the river goes that way. Something just happened there. I don't know what happened. It's not a fish. Or is it? No, not a fish. That's what happened on that last one. My line went slack and I reeled it up and I had a fish. But anyways, all up and down this river, they've got these little cuts. They cut back up the opposite direction the river flows, so they can put these barges or shipping containers, whatever the hell they got it in them, they can tuck them up in here and tie them off to the bank, and they don't have to worry about the river pushing them down the river or coming undone or whatever and floating away. And they're all roughly 8 to 10 foot deep, 12 foot deep, 13 foot deep when the river's going. But yeah, it's a good spot to be. I fish these a lot of times just to get out of the wind. Obviously this one's not the best one for that. They've got some that are deeper. You can see it goes all the way back around there. You can go get out of the wind if that's what if the wind was more than it is today, that's probably what I'd be doing. But the wind being what it is today, not being that bad, I'm gonna sit right here. I can see the mouth of the river, so that way I can catch the fish working in, I can catch the fish working out. So anyway, let's catch another fish. Okay, we're at our last spot for the day. Probably hang out for about 30 minutes. Yeah, about 30 minutes. Try to catch another fish, see what we can't get. See if anything turns up. I moved, nobody's been here, these barges. Nothing's fired up. I haven't seen no dump trucks coming in and out. I haven't seen no cranes operating. So I decided to come push up between these barges. See if I couldn't catch anything in here. It kind of gets me out of the wind. I can still hit the main river channel. I got this one. This last rod right here, right off the end. I've got that one right out in the middle. I've got this one out in the middle, right off the end of these barges right out in front of me. See if we can pick one more off in 30 minutes before we have to get out of here. We probably would have caught more fish if I could have gone further. There's a spot down the river that I like better than any of these spots I fished today. But for whatever reason, I just didn't think to see how much gas was in my boat. We probably could have made it down there, and the wind is coming from the south, but my luck, we'd have went down there, we'd have ran out of gas, and then the wind would have started blowing out of the north, and then I'd have to rely on my trolling motor to get me a couple miles back up the river, and I ain't not trying to do that today. So if it was summertime, we would have attempted it, but being wintertime, I'm not trying to get stuck downriver in the cold, or even worse, they open up a floodgate below the dam, and then my trolling motor wouldn't even stand a chance. So anyhow, we're gonna try right here before we head home, see if we can't catch one more fish. Well, we was about to take off. I didn't think them barges were gonna be coming through today. And here we go, we got one coming through. Hopefully he don't try to park here, 'cause we'd be a little stuck. But maybe this will push some more fish. I got 2 more rods out. Oh well, hell, we'll take that. That was a fun fish to reel in anyways. I was kind of wondering where those guys were, to be honest with you. Big old drum. It never fails. Down here at this river, I usually always catch some of these guys. Doesn't look like they're gonna wake me too bad. There he goes. Let's see if we can get a good release on him. He was good, fun fight, tell you that. There he goes. He's gone. Get baited up and get casted back out there.